Okay, we are now at the ground floor. This is where a lot of the nuts and bolts and mechanics of your sound are going to be discovered and worked upon. So this section is all about pitch, rhythm, and phrasing. So you're going to learn a lot about the sound of your voice, the rhythm that it takes, and how to get the most out of your resonance and sound. So in your packet, there are a lot of terms and definitions that you will want to get oriented with before starting this section, because I will be defining what I feel are the most important definitions, but I won't be covering everything for the sake of time. So I will depend upon you to look at your packet and look at the terms that are defined in there to understand what I am saying in this section. Also worth noting, if you are looking for something that is more comprehensive towards music theory and aural theory, this is something that is not going to cover that, unfortunately. I wish I had the time to do so. I will have to refer you to outside sources simply for the fact that this video tutorial is about learning your instrument rather than the language of music. That is another video tutorial, that is another packet, that is another story. So given that, the way that you can think about it is that you are learning how to speak a language rather than learn how to read and write it. You are learning how to sing, how to use your instrument, not necessarily learning all the trappings and all the details of how to read and write music. So hopefully that is clarified. I hope you're not disappointed by that, but I feel it is absolutely necessary to learn the instrument first before you start learning how to read the music for it, if that makes sense. So let's go over the main terms of this section. Okay, it is time to go over the three main terms in this section. Now, there are a lot of terms that I am going to use in this section apart from the three main terms. So it is your responsibility to use your vocal blueprint packet to look at all those terms that are covered in order to understand what is going to be covered in this section. So make sure that you do that before continuing on. With that said, let's define the three main terms. Pitch. Pitch is a continuous sound at a specific frequency. So for example, A440, which I'm going to do my best to demonstrate right now. Now, on this specific application, there is a ratio as to how accurate you are. If it's within, I would say, for this app specifically, if it's between -20 and +20, you're in good shape. If you can hold that consistently, that shows that you have good intonation. You have a good sense of pitch. So you can see that is an A4. That is an example of a pitch, okay? So, now, another thing to cover is the difference between a pitch and a note. A note is a continuous sound at a specific frequency for a specific amount of time. Now, if you want to get into deeper music theory, you can do more research on whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, what measures are, what time signature is. Some of these terms are defined in your packet. So to give you a demonstration, that gives you some idea as to what a note is. It is a specific frequency for a certain amount of time. So that defines pitch and note. Rhythm, the tempo, the time signature, and style of a piece of music. You can use your metronome to experiment with different types of rhythm, especially when you're doing the exercises that we're going to be covering in this section, especially if you struggle with staying in rhythm. So examples of rhythm: slow waltz, da 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 da, that's in a time signature of 3/4. A fast salsa, da, ba, ba, da, ba, ba, da, ba, which is a syncopated 4/4 time signature. Poly-speed metal, if you've ever heard like gent, it's like like that type of rhythm is very polyrhythmic in the sense that it has different time signatures over a short period of time. Moderate polka, a fast march, slow swing. These are all definitions of rhythm, and a song can have all kinds of rhythm, or it can be one solid rhythm at a time. It's very variable. And as far as phrasing is concerned, that is the relationship between pronunciation, pitch, rhythm, and where and how to breathe. Where you breathe is just as important as the singing itself. And it's very important to pronounce your vowels and your consonants properly for the phrase, depending on the pitch, whether it's high, mid, or low, and how it relates to the pitch and the rhythm. So that right there, that goes over the main 3 terms. All of the other terms that are associated with these main 3 terms can be found, again, in your packet.